What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Terrence Pitts from Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio. You already know what it is. Instead of our Thursday through the eye of the tiger with Coach Bernard Clark Jr., we had to push it to today due to scheduling conflicts. Coach travel tomorrow, and I'll be actually covering my first red carpet for the BET HBCU Honor Awards. So appreciate you for being able to adjust your schedule, Coach.
Absolutely. Congratulations to you, man. That's a huge honor, man. Excited for you. Proud of you. Hope everything works out. How's it going tonight?
It's good, man. It's a work night.
There you go.
It's a work night. I'm on my lunch break right now.
Good deal. Good
I'm
deal.
sorry, my dinner break.
And as you said, we're traveling tomorrow, going up to play Central Connecticut. So we're excited about that. So things are well. Things are good.
Yes, sir. Coach, let's go ahead and jump into the things that transpired last week. You guys played against Duquesne. Both of you were 4-0 in the conference, rivals, and it just didn't. Duquesne had their day. It was the ball bounced, and it was all about them that day. So you can't take us through that game and the things that transpired.
Absolutely. And I was as transparent as I could be with the reporters afterwards and speaking with them. I'm always going to be transparent. I'm not a coach that tries to sugarcoat anything. We didn't play well. And the team in the city played outstanding. They did a great job. They had a great game plan. I felt we got out coached. I felt we got out played. And all those things were happening for them. Things were clicking. And to be honest with you, their first drive, I realized what they were trying to do. They had a great game plan, and they slowed the ball down for us. They were meticulous in everything they did. Like I told you, they're extremely efficient. We knew once they got across the 50-yard line and they were inside the 40, it was 4-down territory for them. They weren't going to try to kick it until they got around the 20. And it was 4th and 7. And a play that our corner makes all year long, a play that our corner, when he played against the guy from Utah State, who's killing it right now, he was doing great, got 2 picks against him, a regular play. He didn't look back for the ball. He doesn't stop for the ball. The guy goes up and catches it on 4th and 7. And then on another play when they scored a touchdown on the first drive, Rob Thomas, who went up in the air over everybody, and had play of the week, with a one-handed catch, he doesn't go up to get the ball, and the guy catches it between 2 defenders. So it's one of those situations where, for some reason we weren't clicking the way we should have been clicking, and they were clicking on all cylinders, and they did an outstanding job. The team in the city played well. They didn't just play well on offense. They also played well on defense. They had 7 sacks. They held us to, I think, 1 of 11 in 3rd down conversions. And it didn't help that every time we turn around, we'd get a first, and then we'd get an offsides. So we'd go back, be 1st and 15. We'd get another first, and it'd be holding, and we'd go back, and it'd be 1st and 20. So things like that. We were playing behind the sticks all day long, and they were sending stuff at us, and we couldn't block them. And team played out well, played extremely well. And, special teams-wise, they did a good job of changing field position. They checked the field position. They did a great job. Again, they were outstanding. They played well. We didn't play well at all.
When you talk about, they start and I'll get to a good start, look like offensively in a passing game, their quarterback was able to throw for 4 touchdowns. They were able to have a 100-yard rusher. It doesn't seem like it was a large statistical game, especially with their quarterback only throwing for like 261, I think. Yeah. It doesn't mean that it doesn't seem like they were playing the long field. Like it doesn't seem like they were going the distance every single drive.
Well, before we even played the game, you and I spoke, Pitts, and I told you how efficient they were. And it was a situation, they went for the deep ball when they felt like they had it, when they saw us in a certain coverage. And the crazy part about it, the coverage that we were in, on both those coverages, when they threw those deep balls down the middle, it was actually a coverage where the safety was supposed to be over the top of number 3. And he just read it wrong, took the wrong angle, and the guy went by him. So it's one of those situations where, put him in the right position, play what they're supposed to play. They didn't see it because of one reason or another. They may have been paying attention to something the coach told them about a 3-by-1 look. They may have been paying more attention to that as opposed to playing what the coverage was and watching their keys. So, again, we may have had him in the wrong play, but all I know is what they did a great job of is they recognized that, and he let the ball go. Everything was on timing. We got pressure on him 8 times. We were hitting him all day long, but we weren't getting sacks. And that was the difference. He was able to get rid of the ball when he needed to get rid of the ball, and they played tough. They played hard. Their receivers were, catching the ball left and right. And our receivers, they kept everything in front of them. They didn't let us get deep on them. They knew we were trying to get deep on them. If you caught it in front of them, they were going to make the tackle. And that's what they did. They let the front four get after. They were mostly in cover 2 the whole day and let the front four get after. Like I said, they had a great game plan. They followed it. On that first drive, like I told you, I knew what was going on. The crazy part, after they scored and then we got the ball, I looked up at the clock in the first quarter pitch. It was 4 minutes left. Like, jeez,
you mean on the first drive?
On the first, after they scored after the first drive, and then we got the ball for 4 plays. It was 4 minutes left, so they had milked the clock. I'm like, wow, they methodically moved it down the field and punched it in. And that's what they did. And I came out in the third quarter, and I slowly started to see it develop. Then, our offense went out there. I think offense went 3 and out, or 4 and out, or 6 and out, or something like that. And they got the ball like on the minus 25, and they methodically moved it down the field. I don't think they scored. They didn't
score in the third quarter.
Yeah, so they moved it all the way down to like the 20 or 40-yard line. They went for it on fourth, didn't get it, but they had used up 7 or 8 minutes. So they did a great job. And then when they got the ball back, they did the same thing. They moved it all the way down the field in third quarter. Third quarter ended, changed to the fourth quarter. Then they scored at the beginning of the fourth quarter. So they, like I said, they had a good game plan. And the thing I always tell people, Coach Smith has been there 19 years. He's an outstanding coach. He knows exactly what he wants his staff to do. A lot of his staff have been there with him, that entire time, if not at least 10 years with him. And they've been together for a while. And they had a senior team. They had some guys who have been playing well together. And like you said, they clicked on all cylinders. They did a great job and they played hard.
After the game, what's your message to your team?
My message to the team was, I told you these guys were good. And what you can't let happen is we can't let little things slip. We got to understand that it makes a difference that it's not about you, it's about us. I am because we are. We talk about Ubuntu all the time. I am because we are. We have to play together as a team. And there was just times where we do selfish things like get a personal foul. We do selfish things like jump off. We do selfish things like a holding call. So we were playing behind the sticks. Defensively, we'd make a play and we want to get up and dance or whatever situation, and we're down 21-0. So to me, we're worried more about antics than we were about playing the football game. And again, it's a rival, so I get it. I know they're under your skin because they're ahead of you and it's driving you nuts. And I've been there before, so I know what you're going through. But at the same time, you got to be smart. You got to play the game. You got to understand that it's a game. That's what I told them at the end of the game. Guys, this is still a game. Regardless of how you want to look, there ain't nothing personal going out there on that football field. This is still a football game. When it's over, said and done, you shake hands, you walk away from it. It was a situation where we didn't want to shake hands because we didn't know what was going to happen. Jerry and I was like, no, our guys don't need to shake hands. Let's just walk away from this. Now, once everybody calmed down, I think after the game, some of the guys came together because they knew each other and stuff like that. But like right after, there's a bunch of talking, a bunch of jawing and things like that. But we were more worried about that as a team than we were about scoring points and doing what we need to do defensively.
Yeah. You're still, that's your first loss in the NEC.
Yes.
And this week you guys get a chance to rebound, be humble, elevate, reassure, reset their mindset, get back to the basics, okay, that game that we highly anticipated and we're looking for is behind us, didn't bounce our way, but we still have a lot more football to play that is still meaningful. And that goes to this week, Central Connecticut, another one-loss NEC team who was in the bushes waiting, to see what happened between you guys and Duquesne.
Absolutely.
So what's your wow for this week?
Well, the wow goes to exactly what you said. The wow for this week is positive. We got to think positive. We got to be positive. And what it turns positive means constructive optimism and confidence. Constructive optimism and being confident. We got to have confidence. So we got to know what's going on. But the most important thing, and I told our guys, we got to start fast. We got to be physical, and we got to finish. Got to start fast. We got to be physical, and we got to finish. We got to make sure we understand that. We didn't start fast on Saturday. We let them go down and score. I put the defense out there first because I anticipated our defense being able to stop them, and we get the ball the second half. And I anticipated the defense not giving up a lot of points, and we score right before the first half is over. They'd be ahead, then we'd be able to punch another score in, right. Things going. So that's why I went with defense. But this week, we've got to make sure we start fast, whether it's offense or defense. I haven't made up my mind yet on this one because I'm not sure exactly, how I'm going to feel after tomorrow's practice, after Friday's walkthrough, and things like that. But I talked to our guys about being positive, being positive, knowing what's going on and starting fast, being physical and finishing the football game and finishing what's going on. It's exactly what you just talked about. This isn't over. I mean, I told him a story about when I was at the University of Miami my last year. We lost to Florida State. Now, I hadn't lost to Florida State. I was redshirted. I hadn't lost to Florida State for 4 straight years. In my senior year, we lost to them. Now, the craziest thing about that is at the beginning of the year, Florida State lost to Southern Miss and they lost to Clemson at the time. So we're going in, they had 2 losses. So our mindset was we're going to go in here and take care of business. No big deal, handle what we need to handle.
Yeah.
But they came out and they beat us. Now, that next week, we play East Carolina. And we go in at halftime and we're up 7-0. And I walk in the locker room and Coach Erickson's first year. So Coach Erickson didn't know what to expect from us, after a loss and things like guys are laughing in the locker room, guys are joking, guys are, and I just stand up and I just snap on everybody. I go off on the entire locker room. Hey, man, you guys think it hurt last week? If we lose this one, you'll see how much it's going to hurt. Because back then, we were what? We were independent.
Powerhouse.
Yeah. We were independents. If it was either championship or bust for us. So it wasn't like we had a conference championship or anything. We had to play for the championship or not. So we didn't know we were going to get the opportunity because we just lost to a team that had 2 losses. So we had to win out. So for us to go into that game lax was ridiculous. That's why I told these guys. I said, guys, you think you were upset last week with Duquesne? Think if you go down there and we play a sloppy game in Central Connecticut. Central Connecticut is a great football team because, like you said, they're 3-1. We go play a sloppy game with them. And we lose, and then Duquesne loses to Wagner. How upset you think you're going to be then? How mad you think you're going to be then? So we got to make sure we go down there and start fast, play physical, and finish. And we got to be positive about what we're doing. We got to have that confidence. Got to make sure we're optimistic on what's happening. So those are the things I talk to those guys about to help them understand that we're still in this thing. And not only that, it's about winning. It's about winning the football game. And it's much better to leave, be in a situation where we're 7-4 as opposed to going down there. Now we're 6-5. We want to make sure we need to do and playing hard. Because like I said, Central Connecticut is a good football team that's been playing well. This is the last few weeks. They I think they beat Stonehill, and I think before Stonehill, I forgot who they played, but they won that game before Wagner. They beat Stonehill. So they're on a winning streak also. So they're trying to get some things going. And like you said, their mindset is, hey, we're 3-1. We beat these guys. We got Duquesne last. We got an opportunity to win it.
Yeah.
That's how they're looking at it. So we got to look at it the same way.
And you talk about, just making sure you're singularly focused, one next game up. Just like when we talk about in game, it's more mental. It's, the mental preparation, the ability to move past a bad play or a bad game, dictates a lot of different things. So yes, when it comes to the injury, how are we figuring out, do we sustain any injuries in the last game? And do we expect to get T. Edmonds back this week?
We're not getting T back. Ty probably won't be ready until the last game. Didn't lose anybody else, though, as far as like starters and things like that. So, a couple backup guys a little banged up and stuff like that. For the most part, everybody's ready to go. Everybody's ready to go. Probably one of the key components we lost was De'Avion Pierce. He's one of our backup safeties, also plays on the nickel and some other things. So he may not be able to go this week. We're not 100% sure on that, but we're not banking on him. And so, Julian White was one of the backup running backs that we have, and he may not. Right. But we don't get tied back. But as far as starters, we didn't lose any starters. Guys are back. Guys are ready to go. Guys are ready to play. So we'll go from there.
When you look at the walkthroughs that you have coming up, you guys travel tomorrow. What are you most looking forward in regards to not the response of how they play, but just the mental aspect of it, watching how they interact, studying up. Okay, yes, it didn't go our way, but what can we do to better, because what do we say? Your best tape is the tape that we just had, right? So the tape that Central Connecticut is going to probably feast over would be that game against Duquesne. Can we mirror some of the things that they did? Do we have that talent at those positions to do those things? And when you talk about the while being a positive, being positive and constructive, being humble, reassuring, changing the mindset, do you look for, is this a moment where you look for the leadership of the players to really, because now you're late in the season, everybody's bodies is wearing down, it's been a long season. This is where they say that mental grit, that mental grind comes in more than ever. Are you looking more? Are you leaning or looking forward to your players really taking that edge, the veterans, the seniors, and really being a catalyst for the steps and how to move forward, and putting on that positive mindset and that positive face to move forward to the Central Connecticut game.
Absolutely. And those are the guys you're looking to step up. And to be honest with you, it's kind of a pleasure today to see them at practice still competing against each other, still talking noise, back and forth with each other, understanding that, yeah, it was a tough loss last week, but, we got to get past it, because if we don't get past that, we won't be able to play this one. So we keep thinking about what happened before it's going to cause what's going to happen next. So having that positive attitude and laughing on the field and having a good time, I see it. And it's like you said, it's the older guys that are doing it. It's the older guys that say, hey, come on, let's get it going. Let's get things rolling. Let's get things where they need to be at. It's those guys that are doing a great job for us. So, yes, there's no doubt that's what we're looking for. And we're going to practice tomorrow. So we're just being shells, but we're going to practice. It'll be more special teams emphasis for Thursday, but also want to make sure we're making the right fits, making sure we understand that when the guy's blocking you, I want to go opposite of where his butt is, because that's where he's trying to block you away from. And when you're on kickoff, and understand those things, they're going to give us a lot of different looks when it comes to their punt return. They're trying to come get it 63% of the time. So we got to make sure we know what we're getting, make sure we know who we're picking up, and our punter, our time and our snap has to be on time. And as you know, the week before we played, the team in the city, when we played Merrimack, we were bad with the snaps on the PATs and field goals. So we got to make sure those are on point. And those are we've been doing extra PATs and field goals for the past 2 weeks on the field, getting things going. So we make sure those guys are on point. So we're working on every aspect of it. But like I said, it's the older guys that are taking charge. Say, hey, man, you're not doing that right. Hey, we need to do it this way. Let's get it done this way. So, and again, Monday and Tuesday was kind of a little lax when it came to that, because I think guys were still kind of, you want to say 24 hours, but that one lasted a little longer than 24 hours.
Yeah, it's done.
So, well, that one lasted a little longer. So they're coming out of the funk a little bit. They're starting to understand the importance of this game, and they understand the importance of this trip, knowing that it's a business trip. It's not a situation where we're going to have a good time. We're going to take care of business and handle business and play the way we're capable of playing, and play the way we know we're able to play, in the mental aspect of it, and understanding the assignment and not busting assignments, and putting ourselves in the best position to make football plays.
It stings more when you didn't play your best ball.
Absolutely.
That's when that hangover of 24 hours, when it goes past the 24 hours, is because that we didn't play our best ball. We didn't execute the way we're supposed to. We wasn't paying attention to the assignment. And I think that's more reason why the hangover, when it comes to 24 hours. Yeah, we didn't give our best. That wasn't the best of Rob. We didn't give Duquesne the best of Robert Morris. So,
and that's what
understandably so.
Yeah, and I know, and that's what makes it even worse. It's a situation where if we're able to give them our best from the beginning and they won the game, hey, and again, I'm not saying this to take anything away from them. I'm not taking anything, and I'll say their names. I'm not taking anything away from Duquesne. Duquesne played outstanding. But when you play as bad as we played, and you don't give them your best and you lose, like you said, the hangover is even worse now, because it's a situation where, like, if we would have done this, now you got all the ifs, ands, and buts.
If it was the fifth, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
I won't say what I normally say. I'll tell you once we get off there.
Okay. No, I think as you said it, it's one of those situations where you didn't play your best ball. They didn't get the best of you. It's not to say that Duquesne didn't play a great game, because Duquesne executed the way they were supposed to.
Absolutely.
So I think this week, respond. One of our other wows, how we respond.
Absolutely.
Do we execute better than we did last week? Are we, when we're watching film, are you watching how you performed individually first, team second? What do you see that you could have done better in this situation, or in this situational draft?
Absolutely. And it goes back to, like I said, I am because we are, but it does start with you. I mean, evaluate yourself, see what you did wrong, see what you did right, and make sure you don't make those same mistakes in this.
Absolutely.
Game. Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to. When you have an opportunity to get that pick, you get that pick. You have an opportunity to make that tackle, you make that tackle. Have an opportunity to make that block, you make that block, to give the quarterback time to get the ball downfield and get it to who you need to get it to. If you have an opportunity to make that catch, you make that catch, And so that's the whole thing. You can't make bad kicks. And that was the other thing, that as soon as we kick it off, we've never done this. I mean, he's been kicking in the end zone for I don't know how long. He kicks it in the middle of the field and not in the end zone. So it's something he never does. And so it goes back to all the little bits and pieces of, guys just not. And I don't know if they weren't focused because we weren't focused as coaches, because I felt like I was focused. I felt like I was ready to go, but at the same time, maybe we weren't. I don't know. Maybe we put too much emphasis on the rival as opposed to how good the team was. That may have been an issue. So again, you second guess yourself, like you said. That's why the hangover lasts a little bit longer. But again, you can't let that hangover affect your next night out. So we got to make sure we're taking care of business at Central Connecticut.
Where are we looking for out of the offense that they weren't able to execute this past weekend?
Well, to be honest with you, we worked a lot with the O-line this week. I mean, it was a situation where it was like, bro, they couldn't block anybody. I mean, they were bringing so many things. We're going to get a bunch of twists and games, I'm sure, because that's what they gave us. And they did a great job of just adding in the twisting game when they needed to, and then they straight rush when they needed to, and there was no twisting game. The guys thought twisting games were coming. So we got to make sure Coach Holder did a great job this week of working on base blocks, working on twist blocks, working on blitz pickup, doing all those things to make sure that we control those things, because that's where we hurt on off. And on top of that, we didn't run the ball as well as we should have. Now, we still had 14 carries for 73 yards, which is a good average. But at the same time, it's not a situation where we weren't running the ball like we normally do.
Right.
So we got to make sure we're running the ball well again, where we get over 150 yards. That's when we're running the ball good. And we got to block up front. We got to give Chickett time to get rid of the ball and put it on the guys who needs to put it on. Give Noah a chance. Give Sean a chance. Give Carl a chance. Give those tight ends a chance. And the backside of the backfield. But we got to make sure we're blocking up front. So we changed the protection a little bit. But more than that, we just make sure our guys understand whatever the protection is, whatever it's called, we got to take care of it. We got to block. We got to do our job.
Coach, is it more pre-snap motion movement?
No, it's post-snap. Pre-snap doesn't really affect you as much, because you're finding out where the Mike linebacker is. You're calling out, who the Mike is, or who the Will is, or who the Sam is. You're calling out who you think may be coming. So that's not so much pre-snap does it. It's post-snap of where they're going, because it gets back to bad eyes. You and I talk about that all the time. It's no different than being on the defensive side of the ball and your eyes get in a bad place after the ball snap. The same thing with the offensive lineman. If you count the number 20 as the Mike linebacker and your eyes stay there and the mic doesn't come and then a guy flashes in front of you, now you've messed up what's going on, as opposed to getting your eyes where they need to be at and having that peripheral vision and able to see Mike's not coming, what's coming to the left of me, what's coming to the right of me. And I'm not on that. You got to communicate. Bump left, bump right. So all those things come into play. So it's more post-snap than it is pre-snap.
Okay. And, this week, what are you looking for in regards to when it comes to the, what is the mindset? I think we lost Coach. I think, we got you back.
I lost you there for a minute.
Okay, no, you're good. I was Leslie. I was going to ask you.
Some reason I can't hear you.
Okay. Right now we're going to go ahead and take a quick pause. I think Coach having some technical difficulties. Trying to get him situated.
I can't hear you no more. I apologize. Hey, let's go, Bobby Moe.
Y'all know what it is. I'm the host, Terrence Pitts and Foot Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV. It's going down. We're having a little technical difficulties to end the call, but listen, Coach already on cue. He know what it is. Let's go, Bobby Moe. Let's go 1-0 this week, Colonials. Thank y'all very much for tuning in on our off day. Normally we're Thursday, today we're Wednesday. I appreciate that. Look forward to seeing y'all on Saturday. Have a good evening. Let's go, Bobby Moe.